Hey everybody, Big Andrew here. Yeah, edition of Thoughts from the Bench. Just finished a good workout today, working my back on my shoulders, working my grip a little bit. Had a lot of fun, and I thought I'd share a few thoughts with you real quick here from my home gym here, the Bulletproof Temple right here. So, first off, I want to tell you I love athletics. I love sports. I love competing. I'm an incredibly competitive person. Yesterday, I was at physical therapy for my shoulder and biceps from my surgery I had a few months ago. And the guy at the table next to me is an older gentleman, probably close to retirement age, maybe past it. He's getting some therapy for a rotator cuff that he had done, and this was his first visit. They're testing all his motions and everything. And in one of the motions, one of the rotations, he got to 90 degrees, which is what they want. And the PT looked at me, and I had my evaluation months ago, and he said, "Where did you get?" I said, "I think I got to 95. And he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, it's probably not, but you got him to 90, and I'm ultra competitive, so I'm going to say 95 so I can beat this guy." And they all laughed and everything, but that's just the way I am. I'm very competitive. Drives my wife nuts. I compete with her in everything, and she can't stand it. But with competitiveness comes the need for an outlet. So you have to have an outlet for your competitive nature, right? Or else you're going to drive everybody else around you crazy. Sometimes really ultra competitive people make very good salesmen. I've worked around a lot of those people, and they're very competitive in those things, and that's great. They do really well as salesmen. But I've never been somebody who thrived in that kind of competition. I was a pretty good salesman, but I wasn't competing with other salesmen. I was competing against myself, trying to do better myself all the time. My brother recently took up Spartan races. Somebody invited him to do a Spartan race, so he went and did a Spartan race. My sister used to run marathons and halves and stuff like that. And I have friends that run and do things like that. I love strength sports. It's always been a thing for me to be the biggest and strongest that I could. Even when we were kids, we all chose martial arts. My brother and sister chose a version of karate, and I chose judo because it just looked like a more powerful sport, something big, strong guys could do. And I liked it. My brother liked to box. I liked jiu-jitsu and wrestling. My sister used to get us to do her fighting for her, so I can't say anything for her. Anyway, but that's beside the point. The question comes then, how do you pick the right kind of outlet that's for you? Now, sport is good. Sport teaches a lot of things. Sport teaches discipline. Man, everybody needs discipline. Everybody needs discipline. And I'm not just saying discipline in a negative way. There's a positive side to discipline. The people that have routines. And I've been listening to and studying the importance of having a good morning routine. It's very important to have a good morning routine and have that kind of discipline. The question is, do you brush your teeth every day? Well, sure, you probably do. I hope you do. If you don't, please stay the heck away from me. But if you are one of those people that brushes your teeth every day, well, you've got that discipline. So you could do more and discipline yourself into more things. Sport teaches discipline, activities, and things like sport and competitive things teach discipline. It teaches discipline. It teaches patience. I mean, you are not going to get up tomorrow morning if you haven't run in 6 months, a year, or ever, and go to a 5K and be able to walk away from it, like right off the bat. If you can, you're a freak. It's very difficult to do something like that. You're not going to do that. You've got to be patient. You've got to work on it and focus on it and build on it. It takes discipline. It takes patience. It takes drive, a desire to do something. You're not going to do any kind of sport or activity or competition without a why, right? Without a reason to do it. And you need that reason to do it. For some people, they choose a competition they're going to do, like they're going to go run a 5K. Let's take that for example. They're going to go run a 5K. Why? Because they want to get in shape. They want to feel good about themselves. They want to accomplish something. That's great. Get in shape. Go do it, right? Have fun with it. Some people take up a sport like a martial art, or maybe even something like a competitive shooting or something, which may not sound as athletic, but it takes patience and it takes practice and things like that, right? And it's going to take that drive to want to be better and to want to better yourself. It also takes humility. It takes a lot of humility to develop in any sort of competition or competitive thing, in any genre, any level, right? If your kid's getting into pee-wee football or t-ball or something like that, they're not going to go out and crush it in front of everybody the first time or every single time. They're going to fail sometimes, and they have to learn that it's okay with that in their life. It's one of the hardest things to teach a kid is to be okay failing sometimes. Not everybody is going to be able to grow without failure, and I don't know there is growth without failure. I would recommend finding something that challenges you if you're going to look for some sort of competition, some sort of competitive outlet. For me, it's strongman. I love strongman. Powerlifting looks like fun, but it's just 3 movements. And to me, that's not enough. It's not as athletic as strongman. And then I know that there's some powerlifters who would argue and say, oh no, we're much more strong. Like, well, that's fine. That's your opinion. CrossFit people or whatever are just crazy. There's no redeeming them. Just let them go. They used to be your friend. They used to be your daughter or son. Not anymore. Just let it go, okay? They're CrossFit people now. They joined that cult. But strongman, it's great. It's team sports. I know that there are adult dodgeball leagues for people who refuse to grow up. Great, go do it. If it's fun, do it. Ultimate Frisbee leagues. If you have ESPN 8, the Ocho, you can see all this ridiculous stuff. I was watching something that looked like that Harry Potter sport. I think it's called Quidditch. I don't know anything about Quidditch. I don't know anything about Harry Potter except for this thing, and there's a witch, and there's maybe a dog or something. Like the kid's got a dog. I don't know. I don't know anything about Harry Potter. I'm an adult with a life, and I've kissed a girl. So I think as a grown man, I don't have to worry too much about Harry Potter. Same goes for those people who are into anime and the manga, whatever it's called. If you are over the age of any age and you're still into that, you need help. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about it. Find something competitive. Find something you can be competitive in. Find something you can do that's going to drive you, right? It's going to teach you that kind of discipline. I don't mean just make fun of all these people. It is what it is. Some people have hobbies. They have things they like, right? I like lighters. I've always tried to find something I could collect. I've lived all over the world. I've traveled a lot. It's hard to collect things because you have to take them from place to place. I used to try to collect coins. It's great. But, I mean, what are you going to do with it? You can't display a coin collection somewhere. It doesn't do anything. I tried collecting stamps. It wasn't really my thing. I tried collecting pocket knives. And it was great. It was fun. But, I mean, what am I going to do with all these pocket knives? The only thing I've really been fairly successful in collecting is, memories. See, there's one of those clever answers. And weightlifting equipment. Which I know you're thinking, coins are this big. Weightlifting equipment is so much bigger. Yeah, well, yeah, it is. It's a lot bigger. I got all kinds of stuff, and I'm building stuff. I got some videos coming out on my YouTube and Instagram of some things that I've kind of manufactured in my home gym. They'll be coming up soon. But I've collected those things, and I like to collect lighters. I'd like to get into that. Those little things that set fire to other things. I think that's cool. There's nothing wrong with collecting stuff and having a hobby like that. I think hobbies are great. If your hobby is cartoons and anime or whatever, hey, that's great. That's your hobby, but it can't consume your life. You're gonna have to grow up at some point. And when you grow up, you're gonna join the rest of us, and you probably start voting conservative and thinking for yourself, and being a smart person. But until then, find something that's going to give you that drive that you see in those comic books, the drive you see in that Harry Potter stuff. It seems to me like all this stuff, these guys, and I may be way off base here because I don't know anything about it. All these people are driven by something. They're all focused on some sort of outcome that they need in their life, right? It's what's the Yugi thing? Was it the power of the cards? Having the right cards to play or whatever. Somebody told me that. Or was the one with the guy that's got the sword and he's got the dog that runs with him, and the adventure thing, adventure something that was big on Cartoon Network or something for a while, that everybody had the T-shirts. He was always on some kind of quest. Find your quest, right? Find your quest. Find your thing. Grow up. Find an activity you like. Find a competition that you like. Something that's going to challenge you. I'm going to suggest something athletic, but if you want it to be competitive chess, hey, if that works for you, it works for you. It's got to do these 3 things, though. It's got to give you discipline. It's got to teach you patience. It's got to teach you humility. Okay? It's got to teach you those things. If you don't learn those things, then you need to find a competition that's going to challenge you and teach you those things. All right? Maybe someday I'll have something to say about how everybody that runs a race gets a participation trophy, but people that compete in strength sports don't get anything if they don't win. But I'm not going to say that today because I have too much respect for people who try. Even though they may have participation trophies, whether they actually did everything at the event or not is not up to me, right? I've never zeroed any competition. That's all I'm going to say. All right. I've never skipped an obstacle in an obstacle course. I've done everything. Never dropped a yoke. I'm good. All right. So I'm going to say about that. Just going to toot my own horn a little bit and wish you the best. So, all right, guys.